This season on The Couch, Falz the Bad Guy and Laila Johnson Salami place your presidential aspirants on the hot seat.
This guy want to put me in trouble. I won't allow you.
Nobody.
Okay.
That is a very important and sensitive topic, I
The truth.
believe. Okay, do you think that right now, people that have a certain sexual orientation are being discriminated against?
I don't know. I don't believe so.
The excitement.
C'est le moment de faire la fête, C'est le moment.
And the totally unscripted nature. Oh wait, but what is on The Couch?
It's a relaxed talk. I don't want anybody to come here and tight or chest. I don't know, stronger face. It's not, this kind of setting is all relaxed. You have your stocking, have your shoe, put on your knicker.
It's on The Couch with Falz and Laila. On this episode, we have the first female presidential aspirant on The Couch, Eunice Atuejide. She's a mother of 5, very happily married, and she's the founder of the National Interest Party, under which she'll be contesting in the 2019 presidential election. And it looks like her children have actually bought in the dream of her becoming the first female president of Nigeria.
So what are we saying to the Nigerian people? NIP.
Nigeria for all.
In Nigeria for all?
NIP.
Okay, so what are we saying to the Nigerian people? Melvin, what do you have to say to the Nigerian people? Okay. And Mia?
I've written about when men used to be the only people that were allowed to vote. But
Exactly. How do you know? Oh, sorry, go on.
now women and men are allowed to vote.
Good. Mia, what do you know about suffragettes and Nigeria and voting rights and things like that? Nothing. And Ted? Do you know anything about voting rights? Nothing.
So you're already grooming them exactly in the political way.
I just carry them along. I'm just that kind of person that nobody is too big, nobody is too small in my environment.
That's so
So
nice.
even my smallest girl, she knows what's happening in my life at every point in time. You can ask her where is Mama, she will tell you Mama is in Nigeria, she is trying to be president. And she's just 4. She goes to school with my posters and she's telling everybody my mom is trying to save Nigeria. And she's like so happy
Nice.
to have a mom who's doing that. Of course, she cries a lot when she's not seeing mom.
Nice.
But most times when you tell her mom is doing something good, she's happy to kind of be a part of it. They watch all my interviews. Like right now, if this was going on live, they'll be stuck on the TV.
Great stuff.
You know, I have the most amazing
Stuff. So if I'm to take a white gaze, you are in your 40s?
I'm in my 30s.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Oh, great stuff.
Not too young to run is what's making me step out now to be president.
Oh, amazing.
Without not too
amazing.
young to run, I would have had to wait another 4 years.
Oh, cool.
Yes, so
Cool.
I am in my 30s.
Interesting. Now, Nigeria has never had a female president before. Why do you believe that you will be the first female president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria?
I believe I will be because Nigerians haven't seen the quality of person that they could vote to become president. And I do believe I have the quality.
Why do you think you have that quality?
I'm a very empathic person. I look at things from all the angles that are possible, and then I try to find a medium ground where everybody will be comfortable. There's no way you'll be able to satisfy one person completely and not dissatisfy somebody heavily.
What is our biggest problem as a country?
Oh my God, everything is a big problem. I don't even know what the biggest is. I would say lack of transparency and accountability is the worst of all our problems.
Beyond poverty?
Poverty is the result of that lack of accountability and transparency, because if you have an accountable government, if you have a transparent government where everybody is part of the in and out, people will understand why certain things are not reaching them, and they'll be less likely to react in such extremes as we see every day here.
How do you plan to ensure accountability of your government?
Quality of people you bring to the table. If you bring the right kind of mindsets, the right kind of patriotic Nigerians, and you pick from every part of Nigeria, the people are seeing that they have somebody in there. The Igbos, the Yorubas, the Canaries, the poor, the rich, the widows. If you bring everybody in there, but you bring the best of every category in, and then you give them the power they need to get things done, people will see that, okay, yes, things can now be done openly. You can use social media, you can use digital technology, you can use artificial intelligence to show everybody how it's working. If I know how it's working, I will understand why it's not reaching me the way I feel it should be reaching me.
The people need to see a quality of skill set. And to be the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, you have to have certain qualities in you. What qualities, aside from empathy, do you have as a person that are fit for Nigeria's presidency right now?
I am a very analytical person. I'm able to look at every problem. I'm not a scientist and as well as a linguist and everything, but I have an idea about almost everything. I don't have to be an expert in engineering, in medicine, in mathematics, in English, in everything to be able to lead the country. I just have to be an expert in understanding everything that I'm told and then breaking it down into smaller chunks to be able to make a decision that fits everybody.
What history do you have in politics?
None. Zero. I'm literally new. I just started off with forming National Interest Party. And the reason was, okay, all these experiences.
Oh, you formed the party?
Yes, I founded the party. I brought from law school. We literally just from the revision groups that we set up on Facebook and WhatsApp with all the 6 campuses involved, we started picking people who were absolutely seriously interested in the business of Nigeria and the Saving Nigeria project. And then from law school, we created our own group and then from there, we extended it to NYSC and then the universities. And then before you knew it, we had about 5,000 people who were working from everywhere in Nigeria forming National Interest Party.
And do you have anything in your manifesto to do with prison reform and the Nigerian prison service?
Prison service, yes, absolutely. In fact, to be honest with you, the laws already have been reformed heavily to help the prison. And for example, all these things, you have people that are waiting trials. There have been lots of reforms in the law, but it's the application of those laws that has failed us. Because the law now says magistrates, the chief magistrate should actually go every week or every first week of the month and make sure that there's nobody in prison just because. But they don't do it. So if it's even the law has already provided a framework to make sure that the prisons are not the hell they are today. But the application is where we have problems. And I see that Godfather syndrome where somebody just decides you're going to jail because, and then the other people help to keep you in jail because. So the thing we will be doing is not necessarily reforming the law, but applying those reformed laws in a way. That's the thing. You need to strengthen your executive, the police, the prison service guards, the judiciary, the magistrates who should be doing the work of ordering for magistrates or other lawyers to go in there and bring out those who are illegally in prison. They should do their jobs. You need to push them to do their jobs by bringing consequences for them not doing that. It's not about just saying magistrates every week go to prisons and bring people out. No. It's about making sure that if he doesn't do it, there is a consequence. He's removed. He doesn't want to be removed, then he's got to do his job. So my opinion is we need a government. My administration would definitely make sure that the law is applied. We have great laws in Nigeria, but people don't know because they don't get applied or applied properly.
How can you ensure that the laws are enforced? Thank God you spoke about.
Put the right people in charge. The right people are those ones who don't listen to Godfathers. In charge of application of the law. Your EFCC. Put the right people, not the magos that everybody is saying don't put. People are having quarreling everything. Police. Look at the IG of police. Look at the embarrassment we have experienced. He should have been removed a long time ago.
So what do you think is the solution for the police force? Do you think the IG is the problem or... What do you think?
There are a lot of problems with the police force, but the IG is one of the worst of the problems because the person at the top influences the people beneath.
So you think the IG is blatant incompetent?
Yes, I think he is incompetent, and I think the person that appointed him is also incompetent because by now he should have been removed. Okay. And somebody who is in a better place to apply the laws and deal with those who are misapplying them should have been put in place a long time ago. Okay. So you start with putting the right people in power and empowering them to bring people like them into the force. So by the time you surround yourself with quality, efficient people working for you, it will trickle down. You apply consequences for misbehaving. People will just on their own, they will up their game.
In terms of numbers, do you think we have enough police officers?
In terms of numbers, we are not doing badly, but in terms of use, we are doing poorly because you have so many police officers doing private job. I don't know how many security guards you have, but there are likely people who should be out there securing lives and property.
Sorry,
but
you said with numbers we're not doing badly.
We're not doing bad. We have quite a few. We have thousands of police officers.
Yeah,
I'm not saying we're doing very well.
Yes, but
I'm just saying in terms of numbers.
I think we're actually under-policed.
Let me.
I agree that we are under-policed. At the same time, I always work from where we're at. Like, I'm not that kind of person that starts thinking of solutions based on what we don't have. What I usually do is, this is what we have. How do we utilize it? So we have 2,000 police officers. Make the best use of your 2,000. Other people will come in, wanting to be police officers.
In a country of 180 million approximately people, if hypothetically speaking you had 2,000, how is that even possible?
Yeah, but I'm saying the 2,000 we have, we are underutilizing them. We are giving them jobs that is outside of the spectrum of where they should be working.
But what are the ones that are in the spectrum? I'm saying the fact that there are not even enough of them.
The fact that it's not, that's what I'm telling you. The fact that there are not enough of them is not the cocoa of our wahala. The cocoa of the problem is that we are not using the few we have properly.
Can I just add to that? The United Nations have said that we should not have anything less than 1 police officer to 450 people. As it stands in Nigeria today, if we were to meet that target, we would have about 1.5 million police officers, if I'm correct, don't quote me. However, we only have about 200 and something thousand police officers in Nigeria today. I think to say that we are not doing badly in terms of numbers in our police force is a fallacy, because we are doing extremely badly given the numbers that we have. And yes, quality is one thing, but quantity is another thing for a population that's now at 198 million. So I think what Valerian is trying to say is, how exactly are we going to ensure that the police officers are operating in the way that they should when we don't even have enough police officers to begin with?
And I'm saying you're right in your argument that we need more police officers, but I'm saying that is not the problem of Nigeria today.
So do you support state policing?
Not really.
Why?
Because I think our democracy is a bit too unripe for state policing. If we allow the state to police, we are likely going to increase the problems we have, because it will now be the police being accountable to their own people within their own state. So it may lead to something that is much worse than what we have with the federal policing.
Can we ensure quality at such a high scale? Can we ensure to receive the quality from our officers when we have so many people in the country? Or do we actually need state policing to divide that job?
I do not believe in state policing. We've argued this even during the law school days, and there were a majority of us who thought that federal policing was the way out. I disagree. I so disagree because of the state of the country. If we allow state policing, oh my God, elections in Nigeria, it will just be a battlefield where the governor is saying this is what happens, and anybody who doesn't do this, it's the police that we use. The same way that the federal government uses the police to intimidate us during elections, it will now be localized, and it will be much worse than when the federal government is trying to use 200,000 police people to man 37 states and cause havoc in those states, than when a state police now has the opportunity to bring in all his cult members, all his vigilante people, and call them police, give them uniform and guns, and then they go out there to do. It's going to be much worse. That's my opinion. I do not support state policing at the current state of Nigeria.
What about sorry, okay, are you
that's fine. Fine.
What is your view on homosexuality as it has been criminalized in our country?
Oh my God, my party members are going to hate me. Why did you bring this up? Oh my God, but I'll try not to annoy anybody. Oh Jesus, I'm going to trend again. Oh God. Oh no. Okay, homosexuality is not a crime. It may be immoral, it may be unacceptable because of our cultures, it may be the worst thing our kids could do to us. Telling your mama, I'm gay, I'll cry. I would absolutely cry.
So if one of your one or more of your 5 children said to you that,
oh my God, I'll cry. I will cry.
Why would you cry?
Because it's so not normal to just decide that you're going against nature. You're going
it's not normal. But it's not a crime.
But it's not a crime. Why would you go to jail because you decide that instead of following a woman, you want to follow man? Now your problem now. As long as you do it away from me, it's not a crime.
Okay. So you're homophobic?
No, I'm not homophobic. I'm not homosexual. I have a lot of friends that are bisexual and completely gay. And I respect them and I love them. Please guys, this is true. I love you. I respect you. But I cannot be you. I don't know it. I don't understand it. Okay. But I accept it. I respect it. They've made a choice. And it is correct for all of us to respect those choices. Oh God, I'm going to have enemies.
Speaking of health, if you got into power today, practically speaking, what would you change about our health sector?
It's the first thing I would look into is a health insurance scheme. We do have a health insurance scheme, but the application of that scheme is horrible. I actually went on it when I was in law school, and I had this horrible accident where 2 people died and everything. So we're worried about internal bleeding and brain injuries that may not be obvious on the outside. I mean, people were squeezed into bones. Yeah, so we had to go, and then I tried to use that insurance scheme I was on to get treated. Oh boy. Call this person, get this code, get that code. Like 6 hours down the line, we're still trying to make sure that scheme got me to get attention. It didn't work. So we just saw Kukuma brought money and paid for everything. We knew, they told us you won't get it back. We said, life is better than money. If you could take your money, treat this thing, let us go through the MIR and whatever the recommendations were. Let's be sure that there's no internal injury, because I don't want to end up dead like my mates. So let's deal with this. So we ended up dealing with it on a cash basis, but I was already paying insurance for that insurance program they introduced to us in school. So I thought, okay, something is absolutely wrong with the health system we have put in place. I mean, obviously, somebody said to the government, we need to put in health insurance scheme, and somebody said, okay, let's do it, and they did it, and people are paying money to be under that scheme, but it's not working. You are sick, you need urgent treatment, and then the health insurance scheme, which was your back, like, oh my God, I'm sure I'm fine, doesn't help you. So we need to look at that, make sure that every Nigerian is insured. Those who can't afford the premium, the government must back and make sure that they are paying those premiums on their behalf. And those who are working, make it compulsory for them that a percentage of their earnings goes to their own insurance, so that when they are sick, when they have accidents or the cancer and all these things that I see every day, people are sending me messages, donate this one needs 25 million for this one needs 50 million. So every day you're donating something to help people. But that's what government should cover. Not cover it by giving free health. I don't believe in that free health system. I mean, I've studied the NHS system, and I think it's one of the worst things what's happening in the West. You don't try to do free health and then not be able to do it. So it's better to give insurance so that those ones who have money can contribute according to their earnings, and those who don't have, the government can contribute on their behalf to make sure that there is a huge pot of money that takes care of health issues. That way you cover everybody.
What do you think about our public universities? Because recently statistics came out to show that people who go to private universities in Nigeria are way more likely to come out with a first-class degree than people who go to public universities. What would you say on
in
the
terms
state
of
that?
first-class degree, you will have a lot of the professors, the teachers in universities in Nigeria tell you, forget it. First class doesn't exist. If you're so good, you make a 2-1 or something like. So sometimes it's not even about the capacity or abilities of these students. It's more the decision of the professors not to award the first class because they can hold it back. And that's a major problem. But looking away from the results, also looking at the facilities, the quality of education in Nigeria, a lot of our public universities, I mean, count how many times they're on strike. You see that sometimes 12 months ASU is on strike and students are neglected. And then when they even come to class, I mean, I schooled here, I went to UI before I went abroad to study. And sometimes you don't even see your lecturers the entire semester. It's just a week to exam, they come and give you handouts.
So what do you plan on doing about this problem?
Oh, you have to make sure that you're putting the right kind of teachers. And then consequences again, because some of these people are businessmen and women, but then they're also lecturers. They don't take the lecturing part seriously because they think that's not the one paying the food, putting food on the table, but they still do collect those salaries when they come. Now you have to make sure that they're getting the salaries as at when due, and they're getting reasonable salaries for the work they do. But also you have to make sure that they have the qualification to actually teach, not just in terms of education, but the application of teaching. There's so much more to teaching than just being having been through university yourself. You need to have the ability to get knowledge into your students. So we need to select the best of teachers that we can have and then give them the environment.
Do we even have enough in capacity though in Nigeria today?
Oh my God, if I put you in charge of a university, you do better than most of the lecturers that we have right now. So in terms of capacity, we have amazing minds. We have people who are willing to come in, but you do have this godfather thing that it's only certain kind of people they are allowed to come in, and most times because they are so advantaged, they don't take it seriously. They do not try to give the best to the students, and as a result, you now have half-baked graduates. So there's so much wrong with the system, but it is also a collective effort to solve those problems. Put the best teachers we can have there, give them the environment they need to thrive, and then the students will get better from them, and we'll have better graduates from public universities, just like we have from private universities.
Let's talk about power.
Electricity.
Yes.
I have always told them, a lot of the town halls I do, that's one of the first questions they ask me. What I would do is to remove those regulations that make it impossible for the guy who is generating his energy to sell it.
And are you saying that will completely solve our power issue in Nigeria?
I am betting $1 million that it would solve.
So how would that work? Practically speaking, how would that work?
How I see it working is that we remove the requirement that all energy produced in Nigeria, every electricity that wants to be distributed nationally must go to the national grid. Remove that.
Okay.
Once you remove that and you allow those who can invest their own money to provide quality electricity and provide secure distribution channels to do it, so that it's not only just in the rural villages or the private park that they usually tell you to have with industries, but you are able to literally produce energy and send it to everybody who is ready to buy. People will come from Kafanchan to buy energy in Lagos. They'll be happy that, okay, maybe you can pipe it all the way to Kafanchan for me. Please do so. I'll pay you whatever it costs, because the industries need.
But don't you think that would make light a bit more expensive generally?
I'm telling you, Nigerians are happy to pay more and have steady
Even in
electricity.
rural areas?
They will be happy to pay more and have steady electricity than what, because I use generators a lot, and I have to use generators, use solar, use inverters and everything. If I have one company that is charging me half of what I pay for all those sources of energy I use, I am happy to do that.
Okay, I'm sorry, but over 80 million Nigerians are living in extreme poverty. How would the average Nigerian be happy to invest more money into power at this point in time?
At that point in time, that's where the government comes in. The government knows, okay, these are rural areas where our distribution work is not helping much. We still need to provide energy to those ones at affordable rates. It's now easier for the national grid to service those ones because the heavy users are now all going to the people who are giving them constant energy. The country now have lesser people to service with its 7,000 megawatts.
We've been following you on Twitter.
Hey, one day. They have come again. They want to finish me, but I'm ready.
No, it's just we just made some simple observations.
Okay.
Nothing much.
Observation.
Apparently, you're not a feminist.
I'm not.
What is a feminist?
Yeah.
I don't know. There's too many definitions for feminism, and I refuse to give feminism a definition. Like, there are a dictionary meaning of feminism.
But what is your own definition of feminism?
That's what I'm telling you. I refuse to give feminism a definition.
So if you don't have a definition, how can you then say that you are not a feminist?
Because I have seen so many different definitions. There are
and
many.
what's the one that you accept and reject? Do you get this one? I'm taking it as the definition, and I reject it and say that I am not a feminist. You understand what I mean?
Okay, look, there are several thoughts, several lines of thoughts.
And that particular one.
This guy want to put me in trouble. I won't allow you.
Nobody.
Okay.
No, this is a very, 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 very important and sensitive topic, I believe. So we need a serious, assertive answer.
Okay, doctor. Anyway, there are so many definitions of feminism. There are so many proponents of feminism. So many, a lot of whom I respect, and many of whom, when they pick up the microphone to talk, I'm like, what? However, one thing that I know for sure is, already from the age of 13, I already made up my mind, I'm not a feminist because I fight for everybody. I was a Boy Scout and I was a Girls Guide. And sometimes when you are in these games as little kids, you find that even boys get molested, they get beaten up, and people are not, coming to fight for them because they are boys. So I always fight for the boys.
So you believe in equal rights for everyone?
Equal right for everyone, no unfair treatment on anybody.
Do you know that pretty much is the definition of feminism? It
is one of the definitions of feminism, and I agree with you that there are so many different definitions of feminism. And what I'm saying is, I'm not a feminist because I don't fight first for the women. I actually fight first for everybody.
Okay, hold on a second. With all due respect, feminism by definition is the equality of opportunity socio-economically and politically. Any other definition that has come onto feminism from that is a negative connotation. I'm sorry, ma'am, that is not feminism. Okay. So if we have more people that stand for the equality of opportunity, hence both sexes, not just one, socially, economically, and politically, the more we are able to actually alleviate the fact that people think the feminism is what it is not. So if you are someone who I think you are, that believes in the equality of opportunities socio-economically and politically, then to say you are not a feminist is quite controversial in itself. Saying that you fight for everyone is basically saying you'd rather be called an equalist or a humanist before a feminist. However, the issue there is you have to be able to name the problem. The same way we know that all lives matter, we don't go around saying all lives matter because Black lives matter. We are naming the problem. And that's what feminism does. It's naming the problem. It's not saying men aside, we're not fighting for men. It's saying we are fighting for everyone and we're starting at the grassroots. The grassroots being women, proven statistically. How do you counter that?
That's exactly my point. You're starting from the grassroots, and the grassroots are women. That's what feminism is mainly about. They fight for equal rights from the perspective of women. And I'm saying I don't fight from the perspective of women.
Everything in life has a ripple effect. If you don't fight from the perspective of the most oppressed citizen, how do you expect yourself to actually have an understanding of what every other citizen is going through?
Basically, feminism realizes that the woman is the oppressed and then fights from their perspective.
That's what it is. You're actually defining feminism again. Yeah, and I'm saying I don't belong in that school of thought. And that's why I tell you, people, please stop calling me feminist. I'm not. I'm that person who actually sees a problem, and I'm seeing how it's affecting the children, I'm seeing how it's affecting the men, and I'm seeing how it's affecting the women, and I'm making sure that everybody is part of the solution. Everybody is actually marginalized, but it is how you balance it that makes somebody much more marginalized.
So do you not have to start with the worst case scenario in order to get to the best? Let me give you an example. 1 in 3 Nigerian women today are victims of sexual violence.
I'm one of them. I've been raped. However, I have made a very conscious choice from the age of 13. I am not feminist, and I will never be feminist, not because I do not respect what the feminist people are doing, but because I see things from a slightly different perspective. I see things from the perspective that somebody has to be representing all these other voices, all these other people who are not able to speak for themselves. Luckily, there are so many people speaking for the females, so many people speaking for the feminists or whatever, so I don't have to. It is not compulsory for me to now give in because they've put so much pressure on me. Let me kukuma join them. Mbamba. I think about the things I want to do. I think about the ways I want to tackle issues, and I pick the one that works best for my conscience.
What I'm trying to say here is beyond that in itself, where I had a bit of a problem with that entire feminist argument on Twitter is I was thinking, wow, this is someone that's running for the office of the president and she's responding to people's attacks on her. And the only politician that I could think of in my head that responds to people on Twitter like that is Donald Trump. And you put up a post where you were sitting down and you said that this is me here now after all is that the attitude that you want to have towards people's disagreements with you if you were to go into presidency? Because I'm pretty sure that Nigeria are not looking for a president with Twitter fingers.
I would tweet a lot as president. I'm definitely going to IG a lot as president, and I'm going to WhatsApp a lot as president. Yeah. I'm going to be on the radio a lot. I'm going to be on TV a lot, because these are all the avenues with which you connect with the people. These are the places where they can fire you. You they crazy, you they mad, I shower like, oh God, you need to see some of the things. Some of them were even sending me inboxes with their guns, how they're going to shoot me, and picking up their toys and shooting the toys. Some were pinching with knives and everything. I'm like, oh, below. And me, I don't even have security. If these people catch me, I'm finished. But I'm not feminist now. So you cannot pressure me to say that I'm feminist. So I know that I'm exposing myself to a lot, like millions of people to criticize and probably even actually mean to hurt me. There was somebody that said, oh my God, I don't even want to be repeating some of the things they sent to me. But the important thing is, I saw all that coming and I made up my mind, okay, Eunice, you can deal. Go in there. One thing I would never do is to start politicking my life or lying to the people because I want to be liked. I want to be me. Those who will like me, those who will hate me will hate me, and those who will love me would love me. And I can live with that. If I only have a few that like me, oh my God, thank you. If I only have a few that hate me, it's all good. Nobody, if you strive to be liked by everybody, you've already started failing.
We have 14 states that depend on federal allocations to survive. They can't depend on internally generated revenue. How do we actually curtail that?
There is no state in Nigeria that can't depend on internally generated revenue. It's just that our current crop of leaders are not, I don't want to be rude, but let me say they are not creative enough to discover all the strengths in their own state and then use those strengths to generate for their states. There's no state that is so poor that you can't even do agriculture or do solar energy or do... There's so much you can do.
Of course, the potential is there. Yeah. What I'm saying is that no one is maximizing that potential.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
states are not maximizing that potential
because they have the wrong leadership. If they have the right leadership, they will be able to harness whatever is within them, including physical human beings, labor. Like Germany doesn't have a lot in terms of nature, but they are one of the strongest economies in the world because they invest in their people, and the people in turn give back to the nation. So if a state sees that, okay, here we don't have oil, we don't have land that we can even cultivate, they look for other things. Sun is something you can use to generate energy. Wind is something you can use to generate energy. Education is something you can start building the best schools, bringing in the best partners to help you develop what you can in your state. So there is no reason why any state should be 100% dependent on the center, because there's definitely something they can do from within to improve their situation.
Okay, someone just walked in. I feel like she has a question for you.
Hello.
Hi.
So I've just walked in.
Yeah.
And I wonder if you talked about building all these things. I wonder if you have at your fingertips what budgets are in these states. So what are states actually generating today, and what do they need to generate? And it's state by state, I can imagine. But what do they need to generate in order to build those schools? Because everything takes resources.
Okay, now you do not rely only on what they can generate. A lot of states are not even maximizing their potentials because everybody expects oil to reach them. Oil money must reach me. I go to the center, I collect my portion, and they build their entire budget on that oil money they're expecting. Now, if you spread it out and you enable the state, the people in the state, to do what they can, and you bring in the foreign partners that can help you. There are lots of foreign agencies, foreign companies that are ready to bring it in. All they need is the environment, the go-ahead. Government is not coming in to start seizing their properties. Government is not asking them for bribes, which is the experience I've had over the years trying to bring development to this country. You come in there and the governor of a state is telling you, if you don't give me 10 million naira, $10 million cash right now, forget it, you're not coming to build your hospital or your hotel or whatever, or your school. So you need to remove all that and allow the states to start functioning independently within themselves.
Great answer. Mismatch. Gestation period of political mind, about 3 years, because about 2.5 years you start campaigning for the next election. Gestation period for bringing those things to fruition is probably more than 4 years. So how do you, as a politician and a public servant, match the political needs of getting re-elected, perhaps, and the fact that it might take 8 years before that foreign partner or local partner, unite and create value for the state?
Before you seek political office, build the relationships. You already have your army of future investors just waiting for you to get into power, because they know, they have a relationship with you. They know that the moment you cross the line and you are in power, they can come in and they trust you. So I have done that. I've gone around the world. I have met powerful organizations, powerful governments, and I've said to them, if I get in, we are not going. You don't have to come in there and bribe anybody. You don't have to come in there and build your airline, and then just because of all these unnecessary hindrances that they put in your way, you have to pack it up and go back. You can come in and actually do your business the way it ought to be done. And they're just waiting. So the day I come into power, just watch.
Which politicians do you look up to in our history?
In Nigeria? Oh boy. None.
I mean, if there's none, it's perfectly all right.
None. Sometimes I think Zikiwe did well, but other times I'm like, no, he could have done more. He was the most nationalist kind of person in their era.
Do you think you can make it far in 2019?
I see a huge opportunity in 2019, and that's why I threw myself forward. Because the people who usually give us reps, they are fighting themselves right now. So we don't know where they will swing, but whichever way they swing, the best thing to be is ready.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
I'm sweating. I'm finally sweating. No, I don't try, man.
Thank you so much. I think it's been so much fun. You know, I think you've had fun today. Have you had fun?
I have had fun. I didn't expect less though.
And you're the first female presidential candidate as well that I've interviewed.
Oh,
so, yeah,
thank you. That's so sweet.
You requested earlier to dance shaku shaku.
I'm ready! Shaku time music!
Le moment de faire la fête. C'est le moment de faire la fête. We are hold your neighbor. Besuma go magnet. C'est le moment de faire la fête. We are show them.
Next time on The Couch with Falz Laila.
So we cannot assume that because today the police is a joke, that if you have a good leader, such as I propose to be, then it will always continue to be a joke. No, it won't.
This is Nigeria. Look how I'm living now. Look how I'm living now. Everybody be criminal. This is Nigeria.